topic of the stream. Let me just get everything kind of situated. All right. I think we are good on Instagram. Okay, here we go. Welcome. Good morning. If you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, pop me a comment. Let me know you're here. Good early morning to you, Mary. I see you here. Good morning. So good to have you. And hey, I want to just ask as you all are joining live, if you were here yesterday, did that shift for you in terms of meditation and why it matters to reprogram your subconscious mind? I'm just curious. For those of you who were here yesterday, we've got some newer faces. Heather, good morning. I'm so glad you're here. Kyle, if you don't mind sharing, what's your actual name? I know you've been here before. I just want to greet you personally. Patty, good morning. Happy Friday, everyone. I'm so excited to be here today. And I'm also excited because I feel like this topic that we're talking about today, this helped me really understand the conscious versus the subconscious and how to think about rewiring your brain in a really easy way. We've got, is it Generation Brilliant? I love that. I'm assuming that's French and it's beautiful. Laura, Rita, Beth, good morning, Laura. Oh, Natalia. Okay, wonderful. Where are you coming in from, Natalia? I know you've been on here a few times. And I'm guessing you are maybe not in the States. I don't know. But anyway, so again, if you were here yesterday, did that shift for you in terms of how you think about meditation and the conscious versus the subconscious? Good afternoon, Rita. Welcome, welcome. I love our international audience here. So while people are joining on and popping in comments, if you're joining for the first time, we are coming together to study this book, Feeling is the Secret, which is one of the, I think it's like one of the missing links that most people don't understand when it comes to goal setting and creating quantum leaps. It's that your emotional state is so important. It's so important. Elizabeth, good morning. Mary saying huge shift yesterday. Yeah. And, yesterday I was, I hired she's a girlfriend of mine, but she's amazing. And she helps like some of the top keynote speakers in the world craft their keynote. And so I had hired her a while back to help me write a new one. And so we were writing it yesterday and just talking about a lot of my own personal story in the keynote. And for me, so much of it was like, I suppressed for years my feelings. I suppressed my instincts because I didn't know how important feelings were. And let me know if you can relate to this. Give me a heart or give me a yes in the comments if you can relate. But we're taught just push through. It doesn't matter how you feel. And that's a huge disservice because how you feel is your body's way of telling you at any given point in time what you're a match for. It's your body's conscious awareness of vibration. That is how you know what you're a match for. So if you feel grateful, you're a match for more things to be grateful for. If you feel unlimited, you're a match for more things that make you feel unlimited. But if you feel closed off, restrictive, fearful, grief, sadness, anxiety, you're a match for more things that make you feel that way. And so what we want to learn to do is first know that your thoughts create your feelings. Your thoughts create your feelings. And so when we find ourselves in a negative feeling state, we want to look at, what was I just thinking? Because I'm telling you, your future, think right now about your future and why you're here. And just put in the comments, if you're here live, what's one thing you're wanting to create in your life in the next 90 days? What's one thing you want to create in your life in the next 90 days? Maybe it's a sales target. Maybe it's a new home. Maybe it's launching a new podcast. Maybe it's launching a new program. But what is that one thing? I want to see in the comments what you're here to create. And this is important. So take a moment and actually type it in, please, because I want to customize this conversation to what all of you who are here live are here to create. So I'll do a quick little coffee break. So while you're doing that, I know, I just know some of you, I know at least one of you here is creating a new home for her family. And so I want you to think about, what is the feeling that you anticipate having with that, for example, that new home? Is it a feeling of expansion? Is it a feeling of excitement? Is it a feeling of joy and gratitude? Yeah, right? but it's not that feeling of anxiety, fear, scarcity, restriction, unhappiness, right? And so if you want to create that new home faster and do it in a way that's fun and pleasurable, you want to have those feelings now. You want to practice having those feelings now and actually appreciate the home you're in as well. That'll help the whole process. Mary is saying a new business. Yeah. So Mary, think about with that new business, and literally this is the important of, okay, I see comments coming in. This is great. So with the new business, for example, Mary, think about what is it like when you fill your group program, feeling of growth and generosity. Yes. And cultivating those feelings now, actively practicing those feelings now is so, so, so important. Let's see what else okay, Laura is saying new home and grow my Mary Kay team. Yes. So what does that feel like for you when you do those things? Mustafa, good afternoon. Welcome. Rita saying grow my masterminds and get videos going with it. Beautiful. So Rita, how does that feel as you grow your mastermind? And then you've got the video training and women are able to plug in anytime and learn from you. And you've got that feeling of completion and accomplishment, right? Morgana, get into a rhythm in my new role, feel good about the work I'm doing and start to bring in some commission. All right. So Morgana, what I want you to do is take it to the end. So what does it feel like when you're in that rhythm, right? What is that? We've been there. We've all been there, right? That flow state, that feeling of accomplishment. That's something that I affirm for myself every day is I get so much done in so little time. I accomplish I accomplish a superhuman amount in a short amount of time. And for those of you who are, it's like any of us, right? We all have stuff going on. For me, it's as a relatively new mom and really wanting to be present with my son and then still grow our business exponentially. It's like, I have to get a superhuman amount done in a short amount of time. And so, but I affirm that and that helps a lot. So Morgana, it's like, what does that feel like for you? Feel good about the work you're doing. So you got to feel good now. You got to find ways to feel good now about it and start to bring in some commission. So I think this is just my take on it. When you say start to bring in some commission, to me, that feels like lack. So I would focus on what does it feel like when you bring in an abundant amount of commission? What does it feel like when the money is flowing and when you have more money coming in every single day into your sales and into your business? So that to me feels more expansive and abundant. I think you're going to have better results with that. Nancy, good morning. Gina, Jessica, Gail. Oh, I love seeing so many familiar faces here. Beautiful. And if you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, pop me a comment too. Like I can't see you unless you comment, and I would love to have some dialogue with you as well. Instagram's always like popping in the mornings, but Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube are sometimes quieter. So all good, but pop a comment. I'd love to help coach you on everything we're talking about today. So while we get into this, this book only has 4 chapters, but the first chapter is about universal law of consciousness. And so it's because what do I want to say about it? We got to really dissect like every sentence. So we may be in this first chapter for a while. I don't know. But we're talking about the conscious and the subconscious. And so as always, if you have questions about this, please pop them in the comments. I want to answer them. I want to help coach you while we're here. And I'm just going to read for a minute and then provide interpretation and pop any questions you have or ahas and takeaways in the comments too. This is what shifted things for me. I loved this. And I didn't read this until recently, but I thought, gosh, this is so true. He says, the conscious is male, the subconscious is female. And have any of you ever heard that before or thought about that? I think I said that briefly yesterday. So you may have heard that through there, but have you heard that before? And have you thought about it that way? The conscious is male, the subconscious is female. He says, the conscious generates ideas and impresses these ideas on the subconscious. The subconscious receives ideas and gives form and expression to them. So again, without being like overtly sexual, just think about the impregnation process, right? It's like male into the female and the female accepts it. And if it works, the womb creates the baby. So it's the same with your ideas and with implanting new belief systems in your mind. He says, by this law, first conceiving an idea and then impressing the idea conceived on the subconscious, all things evolve out of consciousness. And without this sequence, there's not anything that's made. And so what I want you to think about is you have conscious faculties that you probably don't tap into throughout the day nearly as much as you could. So I want you to think about right now, what do you think about most during the day? And please, like, share in the comments. I think it's really helpful for each other to be able to see. Do you think about what's going on outside of you? Like, how often do you find your thoughts focusing on what's going on outside of you versus thinking about what it is that you desire and that reality that you want, even if it hasn't become your reality yet? What's like, give me a comment. Let me know, how much of the time is it looking outward and just thinking about that? And how much of it is looking inward? So you have these conscious faculties that most people don't really develop. Faculties like your intuition, faculties like your willpower, faculties like perception, faculties like your imagination. Jessica's saying more on the desire of what I want. Good. Okay. And here's why most people keep getting the same results over and over and over again in their life, and they never make the quantum leap, is that they don't use these conscious faculties. And because of that, they just look at what's going on outside of them. And usually it's stuff that they're not super happy about, right? Our brains tend to obsess about what we're not thrilled about. And so they may see a number in their bank account that doesn't thrill them and that makes them feel scarce and limited. And their brain just keeps focusing on that. And so that's that's a conscious faculty of focus, right? But because you're so focused on that and because you're emotionalizing that again and again, you're impressing that as your reality into your subconscious mind. And because the subconscious is just like a womb, or it's just like the soil, it must accept what is pressed into it and emotionalized. It will take it and it goes to work making whatever you think about and whatever you emotionalize your reality. Does that make sense? Mike, good morning. Oh, Allison, I'm so good to see you here this morning. It's my pleasure. I love seeing you. So let me know if that makes sense in the comments or if you have questions on that. But what we have to do is we have to learn how to control our conscious mind and how to control our conscious faculties of imagination. And that one is huge. And how many of you were like daydreamers in school? Was anyone a daydreamer? Was anybody kind of drifting off? Like, you would drift off and you would start thinking about things and you'd be using your imagination, but then you would get you'd get like penalized by the teacher for it, right? Did anyone have that happen? I was too scared. I was like the good girl, so I was too scared to not pay attention, so I didn't have that happen as much. But what happens is, growing up, think about how amazing kids' imaginations are. Laura's saying, yes, I was like that. Yeah. Mary's saying, yeah, we're kind of saying big daydreamer. And hey, on LinkedIn, I apologize, I can't see your name, but good morning. Who it just says LinkedIn user, if you want to leave me your name, but happy Friday. I'm so glad you're here. So what happens is we get told, like, pay attention, right? Like, stop drifting off, stop dreaming, focus on what the teacher's saying. And then you learn over time to shut off that imagination. Has that happened for you? Can you relate to that? If you think about how strong of an imagination you had as a kid versus how much you use it now. And so when we're creating in an intentional way, you're really wanting to use your imagination. To me, it's one of the ones that gets me most excited in terms of conscious faculties, is the imagination, the ability to create first in our mind and then impress it on our subconscious and create any reality we desire. And if you think about even how we're connecting right now, the way that we're doing this, 100 years ago, if somebody had said we would be talking, you'd be on your phone and I'd be here, you'd be on your computer, I'd be here, and we could connect, they'd be like, you're crazy, right? It was someone's imagination first, but they dared to dream about it. They dared to think about what would be possible, to fall in love with the idea. And then as your subconscious accepts that idea, as you literally impress from your conscious mind into your subconscious mind, that vision, that idea, whether it's to create a way for people to communicate the way we do today, or whether it's to launch a new business or move into your new home, when your subconscious has accepted that idea as your reality, it's impartial. It must go to work looking for ways to make it real for you. So that's why we want to be so mindful of what are the belief systems running the show for you. And you can tell what they are by what your results are. That's if you're like, how do I know? Look at your results. How much money's in your bank account? How many new clients do you have coming in on a regular basis? How happy are you in your relationship? How's your health? Like each area, you can tell what your belief systems are by what your results are. Because again, we have to, I think I threw out the picture from yesterday, but if you were here yesterday, you remember we've got like that bouncer in our brain between the conscious and the subconscious mind, also known as the reticular activating system, RAS. And so that bouncer's job is to filter out all of this information that's coming at you at any given point in time and only have you only pay attention to what aligns with your belief system. Is this making sense? Let me know if there's questions. Let me know if there's any questions on this. A lot of big daydreamers here. Gail saying not a daydreamer, but a talker. You probably got in trouble for that, right? I know a lot of my friends who were talkers got in trouble for that. Laura's saying my mom would tell me it worried her and thought it was wrong. And so you probably stopped doing it, right? So that's how it works. So we have to learn how to cultivate that again. Michelle, good morning. I'm so glad you're here. So anyway, so this is why that when he talks about like the conscious mind, everything evolves out of your consciousness. But we want to learn how to use our conscious mind and our conscious faculties. So he says the conscious impresses the subconscious, while the subconscious expresses all that's impressed on it. So the way I would almost think about it is, let me draw this out. I've never really like explained it like this, but I think this will make sense. Give me 1 second. We're going to use a Bob Proctor stick figure here for those of you who are my BP fans. So, and I'll show on Instagram first, and then I'll show on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Okay. Whoop. 1 moment. Trying to get rid of alerts here. Go away, go away, go away. Okay. So you can kind of think about it like you've got, there's basically thought power that flows into you through your conscious mind. So you can see up here. And it's so there's power in the universe outside of you. I'm not going to get into a whole lot of like why or how that is today, but basically there's a Science of Getting Rich calls it formless substance, the thinking stuff from which everything is made. It flows in through your mind, and your conscious mind experiences that as thoughts. Okay, let me know if this is making sense so far. So it comes in through the conscious. Now, when you emotionalize it, it will move into your subconscious mind. When you think about something consistently and you emotionalize it, it will move into your subconscious mind, which then determines what your body does. So your body is just an instrument of your mind. So does that make sense? It's kind of like this downward expression. Let me know if, because I've never explained it like that before. But that's kind of how it works. And so getting back to what he says here, the subconscious expresses all that's impressed upon it. So when you impress that idea on your subconscious, it gets expressed through feelings and through actions that your body takes, right? So if you have a subconscious belief that you are wealthy, then you're going to go to work. Think about what the actions would be of somebody who has a belief system that they are wealthy. What would they do? They would probably study wealth consciousness books. They would probably study investing. They'd be looking at their money every day. They'd be appreciating it. I know for me, for so many years, I was so scared to look at my bank account. Can anyone relate to that? I would be in fear and anxiety about looking at my bank account. And then I remember I had a mentor who she said, Elyse, millionaires look at their financial statements every single day. And I thought, well, that's probably one of the reasons why I'm not a millionaire, right? Because money goes where it's respected. Money goes where it's paid attention to. And it's not that you're like, you have the energy of hoarding and scarcity when you look at your bank account, but it's like, know where your money is, know what your situation is, feel gratitude for it. And then also when I look at my bank accounts, I add zeros. Like that's what I do. I'm like excited to go in and look because I look at them and I visualize adding zeros, and sure enough, they continue to grow. And so, but you want to think about what would the actions be of someone who has the result you want. And then you can kind of reverse to like, what are the belief systems that person would have? Does that make sense? And good morning on LinkedIn. For some reason, I can't see your names today. I don't know why. StreamYard's being funky, but if you want to pop your name in, good morning, whoever you are. I see comments coming in and I'm glad you're here. Thank you for the hearts. Rita is saying, I was told I was too big for my own good. Yeah. Wow. And then Allison, you're saying, I'm so sorry that was your experience. So glad you, are here to rework that narrative to serve you. Totally. And Rita, that, it's so funny too, because as I was working on this keynote yesterday, I remember like part of, for me, why I developed an eating disorder was that I remember when I finally lost some weight as a teenager, I started getting compliments and attention. And as a overachiever, right? Overachiever, I was like, oh, if I can lose a little bit of weight and finally get some attention that I'm looking for, what if I lost a lot of weight? Like, what would that be like, right? And that's, everyone has a different story who's been through that experience, but I literally learned the smaller I am, the more love I receive. And so Rita, to your point, and it was like, nobody said that. That was just how my brain took it. So it's nobody's fault, right? It was just what happened. But we can be told like energetically we're too much. A lot of the women I serve are told energetically they're too much. They're told to be quiet. They're told to play smaller. They make other people uncomfortable by how like brilliant they are. Or even physically sometimes, right? Like our culture, although I'm so glad there's so many shifts being made now, but I feel like our culture really at least for me growing up, celebrated being very small, looking a very particular way. And if you didn't look like that, which I didn't growing up, then it's like you try to shrink to fit in, right? And that ends up impacting everything for you later on. Elizabeth, I see you're saying but I'm not sure what that was about maybe, but anyway, finish if you can, type out the rest of that because I want to see what you're saying. Oh, Christina and Bernard on LinkedIn. Thank you. Yeah, there's got to be something weird with our settings this morning, but thank you for letting me know that you're here. So I think we've got time. Yeah, we've got time for just a tiny bit more here. So please, if you have questions while we go ahead and pop them in the comments now. What did we say? Okay, the subconscious does not originate ideas, but accepts as true those which the conscious mind feels to be true, and in a way known only to itself, objectifies the accepted ideas. Therefore, and again, he just uses masculine pronouns here because it was a book written in the early 1900s. Therefore, through his power to imagine and feel, and his freedom to choose the idea he will entertain, listen to this, man has control over creation. Man, woman, whoever, you have control over your creation. And how do you do it? Through the power to imagine. So thinking about what you want, what you desire, not what your current reality is, unless that's absolutely what you want. And his freedom to choose the idea that he will entertain. So what I take from that is you have to remember, you're in the driver's seat, my friend. And you can choose what you focus on, and you can choose what idea you're going to entertain. I remember I used to go into discovery calls and sales calls. This was years ago, but I would go in and I would be afraid that the person was going to say no. And I would focus on that and I would think about it, and it would feel like this, it would just feel gross, right? And how do you think I performed on my sales calls? Like I managed to I thought I was hiding it. I mean, you're never really hiding it, but I had a decent closing rate, but it wasn't, spectacular, because you get what you think about. And so now when I get on a sales call or a discovery call, in my mind, they've always said yes. Like assuming it's someone I want to work with, it's like, of course, like I envision them. I sent out a proposal this morning, and before I hit send, I thought about the person on the other end receiving it and having this excitement in her heart and saying, yes, I can't wait. This is perfect. This is exactly what we've been looking for. And look, do I know exactly what's going to happen with that? No, but I know if I hold that vision in my heart, whether it's through her or through somebody else, that must become the reality. Does this make sense? So do you all have any questions on any of this? While you are typing in questions, I'll do two quick housekeeping. So one is, if you're not yet a member of She Sells All Access or the 10K Club, if you want to learn how to confidently market and promote yourself, I'm doing a training in 2 hours, 2 hours for all of those members on how to confidently market and promote yourself so you can get in, you can get access. If you join She Sells All Access, it's just ElyseArcher.com/training. I love this topic because I used to be so afraid to promote myself. It used to feel uncomfortable, and it's very natural and easy now. And I love teaching other women how to do that. So ElyseArcher.com/training, you can get in for that and then receive all of our trainings. Laura, yes, I know. I hope you're going to be there for it. It's going to be so, so good. I can't wait to have you. And then the other is, if you haven't joined the challenge yet, I've got a free challenge going on for you beginning of July, Skyrocket Your Sales. And so if you're a woman who is a business owner or you're in sales and you want to learn how to just absolutely transform your financial situation and your sales and become unlimited in your mindset and your production, join me for this challenge, ElyseArcher.com/challenge. It's totally free. You can get signed up, but it's kicking off week after next. So you want to go ahead and get registered now, because there's also some goodies I'm going to be sharing with everyone who's registered ahead of time. So do we have questions? I know we've got like 2 minutes. Do we have questions? Do we have comments? Do we have anything that anybody needs? I'm just seeing, are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Okay. I'm going to assume we're good. I am grateful for you. Thank you so much to everyone who was here live. If you're watching the replay, thank you so much. Send me a DM as always if there's any other way I can help support you. And I will see you again on Monday, and we'll keep going. Feeling is a secret, my friend. All right. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you soon. Bye.